might catch me in an unusual spot. Pardon the traffic. So we brought one down south, and I got the opportunity to crash at my mom's. I hadn't seen her in a little while, so it was a pretty good opportunity to catch up. So we're getting up, and it's rainy. So it's gonna be a rainy day today, but I got one to grab a little south of here, going back home, and then I'm gonna wrap up my little tour. So one of the big things I noticed a lot of you guys were asking about is, how do you do dealer work? Well, dealer work is dealer work, but let's get into it. But first, I gotta stop at like my favorite place to stop while I'm down here at my mom's. Gotta get my breakfast on. Just bear with me 1 minute. All right, so y'all want to talk about a hidden gem. Y'all ever make it down to Virginia, North Carolina area? Let me tell you the spot you gotta stop for breakfast. Biscuitville. Can't go wrong, I'm telling you. Highly recommend that pork chop sandwich. Get you a pork chop biscuit, sausage, egg, and cheese. Heck, I recommend it all. Breakfast is in. Let's get down to business. Let me put this window up so it doesn't get rid of some of that wind noise. All right, so like I said, a lot of y'all been asking about how to get dealership work. And to be honest with you, there really isn't one clean cut way to do it. You got options. So let me start off with this. The way I got some of the dealership business that I have is basically I did the tried and true business card deal. Like I've always said, man, always have your business card with you. Always be ready to present your business in the best way possible, because I mean, when you're an owner-op, you're kind of a jack of all trades. Your advertisement, your management, your admin, you're the driver, you're everything. So what I did is I took days where I would just go to every dealership, any place that like I thought potentially could have the need to move a car. I went in there and I said, hey, you know, this is my name, this is my business, this is what I specialize in, this is what I have to offer. So, of course, it's a little more drawn out because you want to try and sell every aspect possible. You want to make it worth their while. So there's a couple of different things that can happen once you've done your sales pitch. You can they'll either be like, well, we appreciate the time, we've already got somebody in here doing business with us, or they'll say, we appreciate you stopping in, but we use Central Dispatch. Or they could just be like, yeah, I'll pass it on. And something to think about, and I don't know if it makes a difference or not, when I go into these establishments, I try to speak to a sales manager. Now, yeah, I know it may not make a difference, but ultimately at the end of the day, you've cut out a person that could potentially just push you off to the wayside. You can push off the salesman that's just going to take your car and throw it in the trash. Now, don't get me wrong, sales manager can do the same thing. However, it just gives you that much of a shot. He may look at your car and be like, man, I can use you. So now let's get to the high side of it, the positive side. So you go in there and they say, yeah, man, we can use you. This is what I want you to keep in mind. They're going to ask you what you would charge to move a car somewhere. This is where knowing your cost to operate and knowing what you charge and how you charge comes into play. Because if you already know what your cost to operate is, and you already know what you charge, may it be per mile or per destination, you don't have to waste any time. So, you give them your rate. Now, they can tell you, oh, that's a little high. We've got XYZ over here that'll do it for $40 less or whatever. I personally, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't need business, but at the same time, I'm not going to bend but so much. Okay, like if I personally have sat down and figured out what my cost to operate is, and I know what I'm charging per mile because I bill per mile. So I already know that. Now, is there a little bit of wiggle room in there for situations like this? Yeah, but it's not a whole lot. I try to be fair. And I try to make sure that everybody's getting the best deal possible. So a lot of the times, if they come out their mouth with that, I'm like, well, you know, I'm sorry that I can't meet that rate. I'm not gonna bend and bow, and I'm at least not extremes. Sometimes you'll get customers that want to knock off like $40, $50, and I'm like, man, no. So you got to know when to just be like, I'm sorry. I mean, I wish that we could have come to a better agreement, but we can't. Now, let's say they do accept your rate, and they're like, all right, cool, yeah, we can make that work. Something to think about, especially if it's a big-time dealership, you know, like a major new car dealership, Toyota, Ford, Nissan, Chevrolet, Cadillac, any of them. You got to keep in mind, man, you'll be dealing with sometimes brand new cars. You know, thanks to COVID and, you know, even I think Carvana doing this whole door-to-door delivery, a lot of these dealerships are stepping in, trying to do the same thing to kind of keep up. So you're going to be dealing with brand new cars. Keep that in mind. Something else to keep in mind is a lot of these big-time dealerships, they do a 30-day payout. So you may move this car today, you may not get paid for like another 30 days. So, something to think about. Now, you get into some of these used car dealerships, which is still good money. You know, you might be hauling an auction load or something, or hauling some auction cars, or they may be even doing dealer delivery. Or why? Either way, man, dealership work ain't bad. There really is no right or wrong way to get into it. I mean, however you can get in is how you get in. If it's word of mouth, or if you went in there and passed out some cards and they were like, yeah, we can use you, whatever, however. There's multiple ways to do this dealership thing. I'll be honest with you, I don't actually do a lot of dealership work. I mean, sometimes it comes off that way, but I really don't. I mean, I get business anywhere I can get it, man. Be from somebody moving, somebody bought something from an auction. I work off the load boards. Yes, I do a little bit of work with some dealerships. I mean, at the end of the day, I get it any way I can. But getting dealership work is no different than getting any other type of work. You got to go in there with your A game, and you got to tell them, you know, what you're about, who you are. And man, for the love of God, let me tell you what, when you show up to these places and you're trying to solicit work, show up clean pair of pants, a good shirt. Like, I'm talking like a good business shirt with your company logo or your company name on it. Present yourself the best way you possibly can. Bring your truck. Have it clean. Have it looking good. These are all things that they're inadvertently going to look at. If you come in there and you're in a raggedy pair of pants and a greasy old t-shirt, I can almost guarantee you they are not going to take you serious. You come in there with a nice clean pair of jeans or a pair of khakis, a nice company shirt, company hat, they look outside and they see that clean truck, they'll be like, all right, this guy's, he's here to do some business. They're not gonna take you serious if you don't take yourself serious. So, that's all I can really give you on that. I mean, I hope it covers some of the questions y'all have been asking. Meanwhile, I'm still trucking down the road. We're trying to get into North Carolina, pick up this truck, coming back to Virginia. So we didn't get much time, get much footage because we had to load and they didn't like videography. So we stopped, get some fuel. It's raining cats and dogs. Finally dried up, but truck's dirty. I hate having a dirty truck. Anyway, this is what we got. Silverado. It's kind of funny they said that it didn't run, but she runs. So, loaded up, fueled up. Yeah, I feel pretty cheap today. I'm pretty excited about that. And strapped down. So, we're gonna hit the road. I got some water, got some snacks. We heading to Harrisonburg to the auction yard, drop off. And it's gonna be a wrap. You hear that old Peterbilt in the background. It's kind of loud. It's a straight pipe. pretty clean, man. Pretty clean. I get it. That's a wrap. Make sure these windows up. Lay the key in when you come to these auction rooms. Alright. All done. We here at the auction hall. Out here at Harrisonburg. Not a whole lot going on. Let's get out of here. Hope catch y'all on the next one, which I hope to get in before Christmas. So at least one more before Christmas. But y'all take it easy. Be safe. God bless. Catch y'all on the next one.